welcome to my channel. My name is Kayleen, and this is my book launch video of my book that I wrote called Mom Remembers Me. It is a graphic memoir of how I use my health and fitness knowledge to stop my mother with mild dementia from forgetting me. So I'm going to do this video the old-fashioned way. I'm just going to show you some pages of that. I'm not going to have the camera over the book mainly because Photoshop is a pain in the butt. So I wanted to do a book launch for this. So what I'm going to do for the next probably 6 videos, just today, I'm going to go over parts of the book and tell you different stories that didn't make the book. So then if you're interested in purchasing in books, you won't be reading anything that you heard from me. So I'm doing it myself because I've been learning that unknown authors are really put behind the 8 ball. I mean, lots of bookstores get 40 to 50% of the retail price. So in the end, I decided to print this to myself. And if I had even some bookstores that I haven't printed, I went to them and asked them. I live in the Bay Area, the San Jose area. And I asked them about it, and they would want 50% of the retail price. But that doesn't even include reducing, subtracting for the cost of printing it. So I would get like $7 a book. So my book is $45. It's $44.99 plus $5 shipping. Unless you live here in the Bay Area, I would deliver it to you and meet with you and show it to you as well. I decided I wanted to do this. When it talks about self-publishing, I'm really self-publishing. I'm not even putting it on print on demand. And I was thinking I might do it a little bit in the future, but for now I'm just going to do it myself. So what you could do if you feel nervous about anything, you could email me through PayPal to pay for the book. And my email is Kayleen_Buteau@yahoo.com. And of course, that's on this YouTube channel, but it's KAYLENE_Buteau. You can see here from my book, my name, BUTEAU@yahoo.com. And then if there's a problem with it, you can always complain to PayPal. So what I'm doing as a thank you for giving the artist directly your money is I'm going to always be available for any kind of questions about this. I have loved some books, and then when I do to try to email the author, they make it impossible to ever even compliment them and just ask them a little bit about the story. So with me, I have learned a lot more since I even finished this book. So if you email me unlimited questions, you can ask me unlimited questions when it comes to fitness and for taking care of my mother and what I did, and maybe some other things did not get in this book. So that's my kind of a guarantee and a thank you. So what I wanted to do is to show you my table of contents. And there's a picture of my father and I. There had to be something in this book about my father. I bought the ISBN number and copyrighted it myself. So my first 3 chapters are how my mother came to live with me, my mother's personality pre-dementia, and my mother on anti-psychotics. My book is a little bit different. Even though it is a graphic memoir, I use photos of my mother and I put it all together with Adobe InDesign. And then I drew pictures of other characters with Adobe Fresco. And I have done some other videos about Adobe Fresco if you ever want to look. I really like Adobe Fresco. It's it's better than Procreate because it also gives you the option for vector, and it keeps adding. And plus it's free with no ads. And then if you do get the membership from Adobe, they give you too many brushes in my opinion, but that's just a little plug for Adobe Fresco. So I have this as my very first page in my book to show my readers what we look like, because I've always wondered what authors look like when I start reading a book. And I also give people, I write in here, you can look at my mother's eyes. This is after chapter 1. So how my mother came to live with me is a nursing home literally tried to hold my mother for the insurance money. So she went into this facility for a minor neck injury, and they did this thing called invoking the healthcare proxy, which that stuff is in my book. You have to be careful with nursing homes. After this has been happening, all my friends on Facebook were warning me. So that's what happened. And then I could not leave my mother. They wanted to leave my mother in a lockdown unit of this nursing home, and that would have been devastatingly cruel. She could still have a normal conversation. She couldn't remember it a little while later, but that happens all the time. I'm really extroverted. I talk to people all the time, and then I see them a couple months later. They don't remember me. They don't remember the entire conversation. So I wanted to go over that. So I wanted to also kind of say, like, when I was in the courtroom, so people understand some of my art. This is in the courtroom, kind of a bland, because the courtroom is kind of bland. I drew the judge as big face, because when I first got into a courtroom, I'd never been in a courtroom before, so that was really, really scary. Of course, I had the opposition, just wanting my mother to lock her up with no humanity whatsoever. So that's my first chapter, was how my mother came to live with me. The second one was my mother's personality. My mother always had a pistol. She was a pistol. She always said what she felt. And I don't think that most assessments would ever take that into account. So she never had the feeling of wanting to please anybody. So if you don't please doctors, then they're going to judge you as more delusional, right? So, and then the next chapter I'll go over today is my mother on anti-psychotics. I have a timeline in here of what happened, because my chapters aren't going A to Z. I'm jumping around, telling you different stuff. So that's why I have a timeline in there. But this first nursing home, which is not the one that I had to fight in probate court for 2 months to get my mother out, they gave her anti-psychotics. And I will always wish that I questioned it and asked everything, because the antipsychotics made her psychotic, and she just went ballistic. And then if I hadn't thought about it, I would have left her in there thinking that she was ballistic on her own. But the antipsychotics are what made her ballistic. So I'm really thinking, which I did write this in my book, that they give them these antipsychotics that make them psychotic, and then you don't like them, you don't want to be near them, and you leave them in a home, which they make somewhere between 8 and 15 grand a month, depending on where you are. Even that's all covered under health plans as well. So again, this is Kayleen Buteau. You know the drill about subscribing to the channel, so I won't tell you, but as well as if you want to purchase my book, like I said, it's $44.99. You can email me through PayPal, and then plus $5 for shipping, and I'll ship it to the other side of the world. If somebody buys it from Australia, I'll ship it to there for the $5. $5 no matter where you are in the world. Thanks a lot for listening so far, and I hope this will teach everybody. As well as, I forgot to mention, I have 47 books and a bibliography in this, 2-page bibliography of all the brain books that I learned and learn more about, as well as all my other health and fitness knowledge. So thanks a lot. Hope to hear from you.